The stuff is here now. Great new day sensation. Light and free now. Gives you elevation. Enough is never enough. Enough is never enough of the stuff.
The stuff, the taste that makes you hungry for more. The stuff, taste that delivers.
Enough is never enough. Enough is never enough of the stuff.
Hey, this is the first episode of Spill Cinema. I am joined by Sam.
That's me.
Laurel.
Hello.
And Nate.
Hello.
Who's our guest host of the episode. And,
guest host?
yeah,
Whoa.
yeah.
I didn't know I was a host.
Guest host.
I didn't even prepare a monologue.
Well,
What? Shit. I'm already fucking this up.
Don't worry. We have many opportunities to fuck up here. So, this is like the first. Before we dive in, let's explain what Spill Cinema is, shall we?
Yeah, we shall.
So, we're gonna review the stuff first, of course, but every other episode, roughly, or one or two chunks at least, we're gonna review from the box set Tomb of Terrors, which is a budget horror movie. And when I mean horror, like, I'm gonna use that term very loosely, and for some of these movies, box set, which is, it's gonna be quite a blast, because a lot of these are under 5 out of 10 stars in the Internet Movie Database, which says a lot, because people review that. And usually people, like, you know, it gets balanced out with, like, you know, people giving it really good reviews and really bad reviews.
Yeah.
And oh boy, a lot of these are, like, when I say below 5.0, I think one of the highest scores is 5.0. So,
Yeah.
minus one film that's pretty high for suspicious reasons. So that should be fun.
Honestly, the rating system for these should be able to go into the negative.
Well, I'm going to try going this with a slightly positive outlook. I know, like, when I was first talking about this, I was, like, flat out saying, if I don't get at least 3 good films out of this, I'm going to get rid of the First Amendment. I think a lot of people have been hearing that as I've been ramping up to this. But I'm looking at it through a micro budget perspective type of thing. Where, like, these guys, for most of these films, I'm going to look at, like, okay, these guys are having a blast making a movie.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not trying to make something that's super big. So I'm probably more sympathetic
like,
to these movies' quality than I was with, like, Bohemian Rhapsody. So
for most of these, if not all of these, it's like,
not all
I
of
kind
them.
of get, not all of them, but like most of them. It's not like someone making bad movies because they're lazy. It's because they're just like a bunch of indie filmmakers coming together and, you know, just having a fun time.
Yeah.
And I get that. I'm gonna make fun of them either way, but you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna tone down my, like, some of the vitriol I had from my first watches for some of these films. But yeah, pretty much the plan is that, okay, we're gonna review, like, a movie that's not from that box set, because I don't want this whole show to be that box set. So the plan is we're gonna review, like, a film that we chose, which is the stuff, and then we're gonna review films from that box set for an episode or two, depending on how long we get through a disc. Then we're gonna go to another film, which is the next one after that will be Blade Runner, and then we're gonna do another collection. Then it'll be some documentary. Then, you know, repeat. And also, one thing I like to get off the bat right away, we're not solely doing horror movies or bad movies, since that's what a lot of film podcasts do already. And we're also not going to talk about The Room like every film podcast has at least once.
Yeah.
Something happens that causes us to review The Room for some reason, like Tommy Wiseau dies, and, like, well, shit.
Now, as a what do you say? As a tribute, let's rag on his terrible movie.
Pretty much.
It's what he would have wanted.
He probably. So yeah, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, so we're gonna try, like, do films that are not, like, unknown, but films that are not covered much on these film podcasts that much. And surprisingly, the stuff is not covered much on film podcasts. It's been covered on a few, but it's a film that I feel like it's underrated in the weird cult niche film squad.
Yeah.
So So this episode we'll be talking about the stuff. In the next episode or two, we'll be talking about the first disc of Tomb of Terrors, which that should be fun. Nate will be on that second episode.
Ooh.
For the disc jockey segment.
Yes.
Which is a lovely movie. But let's talk about this other lovely movie, The Stuff. Roll the film.
What the hell is this? So smooth. That tastes real good. Tasty. Sweet.
Harry, what are you doing? Eating snow?
You out of your head, buddy. If this is snow, try it once. You'll find out it's good.
No, I don't eat snow.
Come on, give it a try. That's not snow. Try it. Huh?
What the hell is it?
You know, this stuff keeps bubbling out of the ground like this. There might be enough of it here that we could sell to people.
The 1985 comedy horror film The Stuff was directed by Larry Cohen and stars Michael Moriarty, Garrett Morris, Andrea, I'm going to screw this up, Markovici, and Paul Sorvino. It's about a living snack that outsells ice cream and yogurt that controls the people that eat it. So let's stop some fun facts about this before we get right off into it. The film was originally supposed to be more of a comedy film, but the studio New Order wanted to be more of a horror film, which that kind of does show, because the tone doesn't really feel consistent during this whole thing at all.
Doesn't.
Yeah, it's just like...
It's all over.
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. Like, yeah.
And the film done well critics but bombed in the box office due to poor marketing and the fact that a hurricane hit New York before the reviews can come out. Which, this film could have been like the Gremlins of this year, which is an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah, and like in a universe not too far away from ours, if you believe in the whole multi-universe thing, there's a universe where Stuff is a huge movie, which is weird because it's definitely one of those it's so bad it's good kind of films.
Yeah,
I mean, and then like additionally, it's kind of high production.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. Now let me explain the way we found out about this movie, because it's quite a doozy.
Oh boy, it's quite the doozy.
So, but first, let's just go into the movie. So, before we start talking about Nate, Laurel, and I were watching the film Cannibal Holocaust, which, if we do an episode on it, will be in the far, far future. So, very, very far future.
The soundtrack of Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, the soundtrack of Cannibal Holocaust is the best horror movie soundtrack of all time. That's all I have to say. But after that, we were watching it on Shudder, because Shudder had Cannibal Holocaust, and Shudder autoplayed the movie after the credits, which opens with a man walking out in the snow that appears to be an industrial complex, and he sees this white cum-like substance from the ground, dips his finger in it, and he puts it in his mouth, yelling, "It's good and tasty." Like, this stuff is good and tasty. We should sell it.
That's right.
And we just saw this like the first minute of this movie out of context, pretty much.
And yeah, it's just gold.
It's gold.
Just that one scene made it. It was just made it worth it to watch the rest.
Yeah. So after watching that scene, we was like, we need to get together and watch this movie sometime. And 2 weeks later, we watched it. And then when I said, "Oh, we should start a film podcast," we watched it again almost exactly a year after we watched it, which is kind of interesting.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I saw it a third time with my mom because she really wanted to.
Yeah. See, this stuff has touched us all. You know.
I love getting touched by stuff. Especially after you've described it as cum-like.
Who goes out into the just finds, I don't know. I'm just trying to find the logic of some guy looking at this white goop on the ground, starting to taste it.
It looks
that's what all starts this.
Again, it was supposed to be a comedy, so maybe that was part of the thing.
I think so. Yeah. The thing about the movie is that it tries hard to be a comedy science fiction movie, But like whoever did the final edit of it, like kind of just made it not that. So you get like funny scenes mixed with creepy music, which is odd.
And then like it was just edited to, like really weirdly. Like these very important points in the movie would be like spliced over establishing shots, which is really weird.
Oh, there's some scenes, and we'll get to this later, where like the scene's just like something random happens and then cuts back to something else, and I'm like, did that need to happen?
Yeah, it was almost. I feel like there were some scenes that weren't filmed or something.
Yeah, well, let's roll on, because we'll explain that later. All right. So after he tastes this, he lets another man at the industrial complex try it, and then he suggests we should sell this stuff if there's more of it, which there is a lot more of it. So yeah, that happened, which is great. We then go to a young boy named Jason who goes to the kitchen after having trouble sleeping, and the way they show him like not having, it's a weird scene.
We should wait. No, it needs no. What's so weird is right after the scene, it just right after the scene of them like tasting it and they're like, oh, we should sell it. It cuts the like to him like getting out like laying in bed and then getting out of it.
And then like
it's such a weird scene that.
And the title card comes up too, and the weird part about the title card is that it's nothing. It's like it's in like Helvetica font or some crap.
Yeah,
it's
like just there. Like there's not like a fancy title sequence. It's just the stuff.
Again, it looks like it was just slapped together, kind of. You know.
I wonder if they actually had like a sequence and they just cut it.
I don't know. Or like they ran out of budget and they were just fuck it, just slap some.
They didn't run out of budget, because I looked at the Internet Movie Database trivia, which we'll come back into every once in a while. And apparently this film was much longer originally. Like the original cut was like a longer cut. Like the director said about 30 minutes of scenes were deleted.
Huh.
Can we get like a director's cut of the stuff?
Well, maybe we could do that someday.
Is that like a thing that exists?
Yeah, there is. There's a DVD release that one day may surface.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it also involves a stop-motion animation scene involving the stuff, which is interesting.
That's weird.
But
well,
yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, the kid just gets out of bed, and the way they show him getting out of bed, like Nate says,
it is weird.
He goes downstairs into the kitchen, opens the fridge, and he finds the stuff moving, which
okay, at this point, this stuff is like a marble, like ice cream like substance, I guess. I don't know.
It outsells ice cream and it outsells yogurt. And this is like just the beginning, and like his father comes in.
Yeah.
And says like, "You scared me."
He's like irrationally mad at his kid.
It's not
it's like, really, guy?
Well, not in the reason like, why are you up so late? Well, he is kind of like that, but the first thing he says, "You just scared me."
Yeah, like, really, guy?
Yeah.
Like, you hear, like, a weird noise in the night. You have, like, a family of, what, 5? A family of 5?
Yeah, a family of... No, it's 4. It's 4.
4. Yeah, a family of 4, and your first instinct is, oh, it's probably a burglar.
Yeah. Yeah, but his father just sends... his father reaches for the stuff. Jason... with shit acting, tells him, Okay, let's talk about the kid who plays Jason right now, right off the bat. He's not a good actor.
He's terrible.
He's
a shit actor.
So, like, for those of you who haven't seen the film, I'll put some clips across this that shows him acting. For those who haven't seen the film, just imagine, like, Charlie Brown. The characters in Charlie Brown, right? Where they just do, like, "Oh, Charlie Brown, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. Lucy stole that fucking football from me." Just like that stale acting, right? Where it sounds like they're reading off of shit. Just imagine that in a live action film form. That's Jason.
Like, fucking roast this 3-year-old. Or this, 12-year-old.
He's 20. I believe he's 20. I don't know.
In the movie, I don't think so.
No, now he... Well, okay, do you think he's like... He's in his 30s or 40s now. That's
well, probably, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, but and then Jason's dad just says, like, just go back to your room, and he spanks his butt for some fucking reason. That was weird.
That was strange. I remember that. It was just like kind of like this like weird love pattern. It was like, ugh, guy.
Yeah.
All right.
And then Jason's dad starts eating the stuff. Yeah, his parents doesn't have names. They're just credited as Jason's dad, Jason's father. So that's gonna be fun reading out.
Yeah.
Then we just flash.
Does his brother not have a name either?
His brother doesn't have a name either.
Oh my god!
I thought his brother had a name, and we never hear it. So I'm like, well, shoot.
What?
God,
Is he credited at all?
He's credited as Jason's brother in the credits.
What the fuck?
I'm just gonna say, by far, the worst part about Jason and all is like, when you're watching the movie, the more you watch it, the more you're gonna realize that he is in there for no reason.
Yeah,
that he literally doesn't have a purpose in the movie, but he's there.
He's just there to like carry on shit, I guess. Like the only thing, like they go back for him later, but I don't know why. Besides the fact, like he like destroyed a super. Okay, we're spoiling it.
Yep.
So we flash to an ad, and this is like one of the weird random bits transitional bits in the film of a woman who sounds like she smoked a couple packs a day for a couple years, and now we have that lovely voice. Is talking about how the stuff is great. So that's it. That happens. And we cut to a scene with a bunch of men on the boat who are executives in the ice cream industry. They talk about the stuff has been absolving a bunch of all these snack factories and shit like that, including Chocolate Chip Charlie's facility. And we will meet Chocolate Chip Charlie later. And
we will.
He's quite.
And what a treat it is.
Ha! I get it.
I wasn't trying to make a joke. All right. Anyway, go on.
When he asked why he didn't go to the FDA, the Food Drug Administration, about it, they said like they either been paid off or went on quote unquote vacation, which that could mean anything.
Yeah, they weren't really clear. Probably meant, it almost sounded like
they explain what happens
something.
later. Yeah, they explain what happens to these DFA guys later.
Uh-huh.
Towards the end of this conversation, Mo accuses them of talking shit about him, which surprises these ice cream execs because and it gets revealed that he bugged all of them. How cool. What a weird way to, say that to the guys who hired you, I guess.
I don't know. It was like there was really
a weird
no
scene
for that, but
yeah.
like I guess I understand. Like he was trying to show that he
knows what he's doing, because he said like you aren't as stupid as you look, and he replies with nobody's stupid as I look, which
all right, guy.
Yeah. And then he also says the origins of his name, which Sam, what is the origins of Mo's name?
He says oh god, he says,
you know, Mr.
Rutherford, Mo Rutherford. You know why they call me Mo?
No, why?
Because every time people give me money, I always want Mo.
When it's disgusting, I hate it.
Oh, he says it twice.
He says it twice, and every time it's stupid and it has no purpose.
I don't know, I find it a little funny just because he thinks it's clever. That's it.
I mean, yeah, it is kind of funny because he thinks it's clever, but like, doesn't make it less terrible.
Yeah. Mo then gets a check and flashes it to the FBI agent, which I should have talked about him a little earlier. This FBI agent gave him shit for being kicked out of the FBI. And they never explain why he was kicked out of the FBI. He just mentions he was kicked by the FBI, which means maybe they should make a prequel to the stuff about Mo.
Oh my god.
Are you up for a Mo stuff prequel?
Yeah, can we just call it Mo?
Yeah, the Mo. I'm up for it. I'm down. Roar, are you down for the stuff Mo prequel?
Absolutely.
When it comes to retribution, he always wants Mo.
Oh my god.
It's like when they were doing the Hannibal Lecter films, and they did the Silence of the Lambs first, and they did Red Dragon after that, which is a fun fact, a prequel to Silence of the Lambs. So, yeah, maybe like that. but probably not good. Yeah, so he flashes his check to the FBI agent. The FBI agent calls him an asshole, and Mo responds by punching the dude in the face, and that's where the scene ends. Really, he just punches the guy in the face on the boat.
Isn't that something? Doesn't someone say something like he's dead or something like that?
No, it's like more like holy shit type of thing. I think one person says something after that, but I don't remember.
Yeah, but it's not important. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in here where I kind of go like, and that kind of happens, and I don't explain it because it's not too important. Then we flash back to Jason's family eating breakfast. Apparently, Jason missed 3 days of school to his stomach not feeling good. Well, according to him, who knows why he didn't go to school. Yeah, so his father just says you're going to school no matter what. Because, he's the dad, and he's like the dad that reads the newspaper at the breakfast table. Which, we need to bring dads like that back, man. The dads that read papers at the breakfast table.
My dad does that, but he reads the news on an iPad.
That's
not is that close enough?
Sam. No.
Well,
not.
Fucking whatever. All right.
It needs to be like with a pipe and shit like that. That's how it works. Anyways, I'm.
You
going
can be
way
that dad
off,
then.
I'm going way off topic here. Jason's brother goes to the fridge to get the stuff. Jason responds to this great bit of acting.
Let me have someone. I'll finish with my cereal.
Sure. Good for you.
No. Don't eat that.
There's nothing wrong with it. I had some last night.
I'm telling you, it isn't good. It's spoiled.
Doesn't taste spoiled to me. Here, you taste it and tell me if you think it's spoiled.
I don't want any. Look. It moves around all by itself. It moves. I saw it moving in the refrigerator.
Jason then smacks the stuff out of his mother's hand and runs out of the house. And his mother refers to the stuff as spotless. It doesn't even spot.
Yeah, it doesn't like stain the counter or something, which again is like another thing where it's like that scene, that like half cut of a scene, they probably had to pay the actor like $100 or something, and it meant nothing.
She did it well. I think she
did it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has no place in the movie. It's like there was no reason to have it.
It's a comedy bit, I think. That's all it is. It's not like a bad.
It wasn't even comedic.
I know, but like this is not bad compared to the other stuff that's coming up. This is actually pretty.
Oh
right.
Well, yeah, but it's just another small thing.
We then cut the scientists researching the stuff with Mo Money Guy. They can't figure out what the ingredients are in it, and they always bring up how its ingredients are protected by the FDA's statutes identity rule that Coca-Cola uses for its formula. Now they just flash Coca-Cola on the screen randomly. And it's definitely not like a sponsorship thing, I think, just solely because they're not talking anything good about it.
Yeah, they're kind of bashing Coca-Cola. I think, I read the Wikipedia, wasn't the movie supposed to be like a commentary on,
yeah, it's
like,
an anti-consumer
Coca-Cola?
film. But like, the thing is that the way they flashed the Coca-Cola on the screen, like, if I didn't know what the content of this movie was, like, did they just like fucking randomly brought up Coke here for no reason?
It definitely did look like a sponsorship the way that he held it, and it was like Coca-Cola, but like.
Anyways,
but it's obviously not a sponsorship.
This podcast is sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Yes.
So, yeah,
we're selling out.
Yeah, Nate, what do you think of Coca-Cola?
It's okay.
Good.
More of
it's
a
okay.
Coca-Cola.
I hope
it's okay.
I'm just hoping that the sponsorship stays with that, with just it being okay.
Yeah. We are not sponsored by Coke, by the way. Please don't do that. Mo brings up they have to steal the stuff's secret formula from the factory. Then we cut to Mo crashing a stuff photo shoot run by Nicole Kindle, who was running the PR for the stuff. And here's a little fun fact we learned: she invented the name. That's I wouldn't be proud about that. I wouldn't be proud about, like, oh, what should we call this stuff? How about this stuff? Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Yeah, that will sell. I don't know why that's like something to be bragging about, though. Really,
I came up with the name stuff.
like that's like coming up with like I'm proud about coming up for the name. Like, what's something that's like a cool product but has a shitty name? Does anyone think of
The
any?
ShamWow.
ShamWow. Yeah, I bet the guy who made the ShamWow is like thinks he like did a good job, but it's not a good name, dude. I don't.
Yeah.
If I didn't know it was a rag that cleans up anything, I would just think like the ShamWow is like a shamrock that does cool shit, or that, yeah, a sham. Then Mo makes a weird comment about like you didn't get here by waiting in line. To her.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Which.
Yeah, that was strange.
And it's like, how did you know?
And he says the fucking he says his fucking tagline again.
Oh yeah, he does. He
does, and it was just as stupid as the first time.
Yeah, and this is like a 5-minute gap in between that and that. Mo says he wants to buy her ad agency to promote petroleum. He's an industrial saboteur, so he's lying. She then cancels all of her appointments and goes on a date with him, which that's quite the speed up right there. And before they leave to go on a date, which she is going to his hotel room, by the way, which has room service. They share the size of their limos with each other. Like, what's the size of your limo? Well, I'm pretty sure mine's bigger. That's what happens. It's like it's almost like that scene in American Psycho where they compare the font of their business cards or some shit like that. So yeah, we then cut to Jason at the supermarket, which is a good scene right here that's coming up.
Yeah. Oh my god!
Oh my god! I love that scene. I love this scene so much.
Jason sees a kid eating the stuff in the cart, then smacks it out of his hand. Like,
that's how it all starts.
And then he fucking runs to
bullies some kid.
Then he runs to the shelf, just like use his arms to scrape it out and shit. And then he goes and he runs to the fridge that also has the stuff, takes a broom, breaks it, and then also destroys more stuff. And
to reiterate, he breaks the window of the cooler, not the broom.
Yeah, the cooler. What else did he? Oh yeah, he also breaks down like a pyramid display of stuff. And before getting tackled by retail employees, he just screams, "It's killing you," which that doesn't make you sound crazy at all.
Yeah,
but I love.
He probably could have gone about that a little bit better.
Yeah,
but
I love this scene though. It's really good.
It's such a good scene. Keep in mind too, like most movies, it would take like a little bit to like work up to this. This is like 10 minutes in the movie.
Yeah, I just go straight into this shit.
Like all of a sudden, this kid knows absolutely everything at the very beginning.
Just because he saw his food moving in the fridge. Yep. Like that's the conclusion he made. Like, oh, the food's moving in the fridge. It's gonna kill me.
and hypothetically, that could have just been him being sleepy. Like I've been sleepy and I've seen things move. And I'll be honest, I thought the Reese's Puffs were spying on me at one point, but I didn't like go to the store and then like fucking go apeshit on all the Reese's Puffs.
That'd be kind of cool.
Because you don't do that.
That would be cool if you did though. You want to go into the store and go apeshit on Reese's Puffs together?
Yeah. What day are you open?
I'm up for tomorrow.
Tomorrow? I might be doing something, but you know what? Monday good for you?
Yeah, sure. Nate, do you want to go apeshit on Reese's Puffs?
I guess.
How about you, Laurel? Want to go apeshit on Reese's Puffs?
Absolutely.
All right, we're all gonna go apeshit on Reese's Puffs because Sam thought they were spying on them.
I should probably reiterate that I have like a medical disorder, but yeah, I genuinely thought that they were like spying on me for like a solid second.
Yeah, but even
because I was very sleepy.
Even if you saw your food move, like you could probably just go like, okay, maybe we shouldn't be eating that, but not go to the conclusion of it's gonna kill you all.
if I was sure that I saw the food move, I would probably say something. If I was 100% sure, but I'm not. But like, if I just saw food move in my kitchen at like 3 a.m., I'd probably question it.
Yeah. Well, okay, so then we go back to Mo's world. Hey Mo, how are you? And he speaks of Mr. Vickers, who is part of the FDA, who is I would call a shady character.
I guess.
He's very, afraid and shit like that. He has a dog named Ben who's growling the whole time. Mr. Vickers asks if Mo has contacted anyone else in the FDA, but Mo replies that they are either deceased or out of the country. So we know some shady shit's going down right now. Mo goes for papers. Mo asks for the papers. Mr. Vickers go up the stairs to get them. The dog's barking intensifies during the scene.
He's very clearly like afraid of his dog, and you see something's wrong.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever eaten this. I think because he seems like the guy who hasn't eaten the stuff, but knows what's going on with it. Because there's characters in this that do shit with the stuff but haven't eaten it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Yeah, they know about it. They know what they're selling, but they haven't eaten it because they're cool. Not cool. Yeah. But so Mo goes to the kitchen to feed the dog. Where he finds a room where he finds it full of boxes and cartons of the stuff.
Yeah, which means I'm sure he's been eating it.
Well, there's a scene later that shows what's happening, so.
Well, yeah, I know that. Okay,
yeah, and anyway, he does say he eats it, but he says it very oddly next to his dog, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So Mr. Vick, so this is another weird scene that kind of comes out of nowhere where Mo goes to drive and goes to a drive-in that serves just the stuff, and he comments how weird it's 2:30 a.m. and there's still a lot of people there. And then we cut back to Mr. Vickers getting attacked by his dog Ben. And this scene vaguely reminds me of the Thing a little bit.
Yeah.
Where the dog unplugs the phone line, rips it out of that wall. And opens his mouth, which reveals, which is full of the stuff that oozes out and attacks Mr. Vickers right away. As he's pleading, he will buy more. He's he's pleading his dog, don't worry, I'm gonna buy more. And the dog is not having that shit.
Yeah.
Mo stops at a gas station in Stater to see Melville. And the man at the gas station tells him that Melville moves out. Another car pulls in down the street, and Mo goes to investigate it. And as he does this, the gas station man runs into the forest randomly. Just runs into the forest.
He runs off and is never seen again.
They weren't exactly entirely they didn't exactly explain
where
that
he's
at all.
going, where everyone in that town's going later.
Yeah, but why?
Once he gets into the car, he's attacked by a man who has hands as lethal weapons, as he says. And that man is revealed as Chocolate Chip Charlie.
That's right.
Chocolate Chip Charlie. Now, here's the thing about Chocolate Chip Charlie. I'm not going to say his name is Chocolate Chip Charlie again, solely because they chose the one black character in this film to be named that guy.
Literally, he is the only African. There's the only African American guy in the entire film, and his name's Chocolate Chip Charlie.
He's a great. I love him though. He's probably the best part of the movie.
100% my favorite character in this entire film.
So Mo wins. And they, he talks hey, I think I'm working with you technically. We're working to find the same thing. Charlie brings up how his family, who held stock of his company, must have been brainwashed by his stuff, which is how he lost his company. They stop at the post office where they find out everyone in Stater has been relocating to Midland, Georgia, which is where the mines are for the stuff. This man at the post office says, the postman says, leave us alone. We're not bothering anybody. And before that, before he leaves, he kind of does a weird, I'm sick type of noise, if that makes sense. that thing, and he leaves and goes out.
A retching noise, yeah.
Yeah, and goes down the back door, which leads to a different room.
Yeah.
This leaves Charlie and Mo to theorize what's happening and discuss what to do with this man. Charlie suggests to kidnap him. Mo is like, no, that's not cool, dude.
Kidnapping's not cool.
Yeah.
Don't do it, kids.
That's right.
We see a bunch of stuff oozing out of his mouth, which is like wide open and hinged in a weird, creepy way. They overhear him like groaning through the door. So
that's right.
So Charlie uses his lethal weapon hands to break it open and get in, and they look at him like, "Oh shit, that's not cool."
Well, there's a lot of moaning and there's a lot of white stuff.
And they just find him on the floor, and it's like, "Look at his mouth. That's not good." Charlie suggests to use his lethal weapons. He calls his hands lethal weapons several times. I don't know why.
A lot. He does this a lot.
And I like it. I'm not gonna lie, I like it, but it's weird, and I probably am overstating how much he does. So they just decide to escape through the window. So they after that they find out a bunch of townspeople possessed by the stuff chase after them, and then they escape. This scene's kind of weird. Because the way they reveal them chasing is like a bunch of guys down an alley with a big light shining on them. Just like, like you know that scene in Monty Python and the Holy Grail where there's that guy chasing after the castle?
Yes.
It reminds me of that because they cut to it 3 times, I think.
Dude, I know the thing that it's almost as if it's shot in the way that it makes it seem like, you know, they're the heroes in the movie and they're about to be revealed. Like, you know what I mean? Like in a trailer where like, they don't like they're about to reveal the heroes and they're running to go fight crime. You know, that's what it looks like to me. It's just super like weirdly shot.
Yeah, it's a weird scene. And then like when they leave and they exit through a boat, they use a speedboat.
Oh my god!
And for
when they use the boat,
and the guys that chasing after them like somehow like push them off.
Yeah, they like.
There, you can very easily tell when like there's one dude who jumps in the water, and he's like basically attacking the back of the boat, but he's also pushing it more into the water.
Yeah. Oh.
It was like he was trying to like look like he was just trying to attack the boat, but he was very clearly just like
pushing the boat so it would actually move.
Yeah.
One weird thing I like to mention quickly is that when Charlie hits the stuffies, that's what they call them in the movie, the stuffies, the people possessed by the stuff, they do look fucking weird when they punch. I kind of like how they look a little bit. They look like super deformed when you hit them. Like,
yeah, that's right.
Like they either look like hollow shells that are using a little bit of white stuff. It's interesting.
The stuff hollows out the inside of a person.
Yeah.
And it makes them super brittle as a result. Again, they just kind of gloss over this.
I don't think they gloss over it. I think it's to expect you to know, I believe.
I mean, I guess, but like it's kind of weird because he says this. Because otherwise it would just make it look like they just have really powerful hands.
Well, his hands are lethal weapons, Sam.
Well, even Mo just punches one of these people and they just completely fall apart.
Maybe they shook hands at one point and he transferred the lethal weaponness to him. I don't know. That's my theory.
That's how it works, Sam. Yeah. Don't you know?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyways, Mo and Charlie go to a diner, and Mo has to unfortunately tell him and Charlie they have to split up, which sucks because that means you don't get to see the best character of the film until much, 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 much later.
Yep.
He's like barely in this movie. Like the shit actor kid is in this movie more than
Chocolate chip.
Pretty much it's pretty much like you don't see him till like towards the end after this.
So yeah, he says like, okay, I need you to go to DC Charlie and tell them about the stuff because they don't trust me because they kicked me out, but they will trust a CEO that got kicked out by his own family from a company, of course. So, then we go see a waiter at the diner goes into a freezer and it's full of stuff.
They asked earlier if they had any stuff, and they said
no.
Everyone looked at him weirdly, and they said no. So this is pretty sus.
So Mo, hitches a ride back to New York. I think that's where it is, New York.
Yeah.
Yep, he goes to New York, which is, when he gets back to New York, is great.
Yeah, so he goes to New York. A woman-ass stuff stand there. Calls on a walkie, and a van just speeds up and tries to assassinate him. This scene
that wasn't never mentioned, or again, just never mentioned, never talked about again.
It just happened.
Yeah, exactly. The scene, the scene just it just it goes to that scene, that happens, and then it cuts to something else when it's done.
Mo then talks to Mr. Fletcher, who knows about what's happening with the stuff. He owns the company that's distributing it, I believe. He has said he hasn't eaten any of it because he's sane enough not to. Mr. Fletcher tries to buy off Mo, and Mo does take the money, but I think he just uses it for personal use. He never really works with them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mo then talks to Nicole about the stuff. She feels super bad about marketing it. And Mo reveals that he doesn't work for Petrol. He's actually an industrial saboteur. Which she just says, oh, okay, that's fine, even though he kind of said, hey, I'm going to buy your company.
Yep.
Oh, cool. And, yeah.
Also, it's good to note here that she, kisses him, kind of half-passionately in this scene. And, they never really noted at any point. Huh?
Yeah, they have. They said they were going to go to the same hotel room at one point earlier in the film.
Well, yeah, but they never established that. They never really showed the scene where they started dating.
Well, here's the thing I gotta tell you, Sam. So there's a cut scene in this movie. A cut scene. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is either happening in a scene before when they went to the hotel room, or a scene later when they're also in another hotel room. Where there's apparently a romance scene in this film that was cut.
Yeah, that would have been helpful. And then I can even write part of it. What happens is that something, and then the lady kisses Mo, and then Mo is like, now I want Mo.
Sam, I'm happy you didn't write this movie.
I hope that would be the case, though. That would be amazing.
Is that also his pickup line? I'm assuming that's also his uses that to pick up chicks at before. Why did they call it me
probably?
Because I always go for, I don't know. So yeah, they kiss. Here's the thing, we could be complaining about that, but that's pretty small compared to other shit in this film.
It's just kind of weird.
So Mo goes back to the scientists, and they find out that Jason has destroyed a bunch of the stuff. So Mo takes a plane to Long Island, which is where he lives. We cut to Jason, who's in the room watching an ad for his stuff. Jason, who's grounded, watching an ad for his stuff in his room. Which I'm going to say something about these stuff jingles. They're pretty neat. I like them.
Yeah, the ad that they do is very well done.
And there's 3 to 4 of them in this movie, and I like all of them. They're pretty good. Nate, what's your take on the stuff ads? Do you like the jingles?
Stuff ads?
Would you put them in your good tune playlist or something like that?
My good tune? Why not? I like them. I like those little ads that they have, honestly.
They're super well produced, and they're really good. It's just a lot of effort to put in this teeny tiny thing, and I can appreciate that,
Yeah. So Jason goes downstairs, sees all the food thrown out in a bag, and sees his family in the living room eating the stuff, while his brother's also playing video games and eating the stuff. His mother says that she lost 5 pounds while eating it, which is this stuff meth? I feel like it's meth because they say another thing later on that makes me think this is partially meth.
Yeah, it's.
Oh yeah, it's they don't sleep anymore.
Yeah, I don't need to sleep anymore. They reveal this later, so I'm like, is this just sentient meth? No, I didn't screw that up. Sentient meth. Let's do a roundtable discussion about this. Nate, let's start with you. Is
Oh,
stuff
what-
sentient meth?
What do you mean? What do you want me to start with here with sentient meth? Like what the fuck? If that was real, what the fuck do you do?
I don't know.
If meth was methient.
Okay,
Yeah,
roundtable
Sam.
discussion over because Sam did a joke.
Wow, Sam.
Let's Laurel have her say on what sentient meth is. Let's go. I'm gonna give her a hand on the mic.
Sentient meth. Maybe it's like whenever it's like memories, good memories versus bad memories. You know,
Yeah.
that's what it would be like. You get fucking hooked, and then you'd lose a ton of weight, and then have to remember all the depressing things so you don't get hooked on it.
Yeah.
Really depressing.
Wow.
Oof.
That's terrible. Thank you. I hate it.
Sam, you hate everything.
I do, but you know.
Jason says the stuff is living, and his father refutes that with bread and yogurt has living things in it, which it's not sentient living thing. Well, you know what I mean. It's not like shit that's controlling. It's not moving. I could say that.
Yogurt doesn't move usually.
Yeah, and if it does, it's probably because you're in a shaky place. You know.
Go in your fridge. If your yogurt is moving, get new yogurt.
Yeah, get do you have any yogurt recommendations?
Gotta say, Greek yogurt is my favorite yogurt.
Oh.
Plate is yo shit, but like I'll eat it anyway because I'm hungry.
Yo plate is yo shit. That's the Sam take on yo plate.
Honestly, Chobani is also a good second.
Chobani?
Well, like Chobani's fucking. I said that Chobani's just Greek yogurt.
But it has fruit at the bottom.
But that doesn't. Yeah, like it's just. Oh my god! Whatever. Like.
Well.
Just saying, Chobani's good. If it's just like I said, Greek yogurt, and then you're like, yeah, but also here's another kind of Greek yogurt. It's like, thanks, I already said Greek yogurt.
Anyways, Jason tries to escape, but his brother grabs him. And his father gives him the stuff and says if he eats it, he can become part of the family again.
That's right.
Weird line.
And also they said like weird shit like we gave you this house because you wanted it. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, like what?
Like we gave you the house, and his brother's like, you always get what you want. Like, all right, cool,
kid.
bro. So Jason goes to the bathroom, pours it out, and replaces the stuff with. Oh yeah, when he pours it out, by the way, it's very weird, disgusting. Now, do you want me to tell you what the stuff is made out of?
Do you have the ingredients list?
Yes. So,
is it alien cum?
No. Let me pull this out. I had it somewhere. Give me a second. Sorry.
While he's pulling that up, hey Zach, remember that one time that I mentioned the stuff being like a cum-like substance, and you were eating a cream-filled donut, and you yelled at me because.
Yeah, you said something. No, you said something else about cum, and I was like eating a cream-filled pop or something like that. Well, it was cream puffs, and I'm like, man, I don't want to eat this shit anymore.
It was hilarious because you had trouble swallowing it for a second.
Yeah. Thanks, Sam.
You're welcome. Love
okay,
you.
I found it. According to Larry Cohen, the director himself, in some scenes with the stuff chases characters, that the foam made out of blended fish bones was used.
A foam what?
Made out of blended fish bones. So the scenes where like people were chasing them covered in stuff, used a foam made out of blended fish bones. It stinks so much that as soon as the shots were done, the actors ran to a river in order to bathe and get rid of the stench.
Oh, that's fucking vile.
Yeah, we're gonna find out a little more about Larry Cohen. He's quite the character, as the guy who played Charlie says.
This is not the same Cohen as the Cohen brothers.
No, he's not. So Jason, after he pours out the stuff in the bathroom, he replaces it with shaving cream.
Barbasol, specifically.
Yeah. Which, you know, if that's the only stuff like thing you can find in your bathroom, that's fine. I can't think of anything else really. That.
Oh, I can.
Okay, what? Oh. No. Okay. No. You're not gonna say it. No.
Jason... Die of dehydration to fill up that tub.
Yeah. Oh man. This is the kids we're talking about, dude.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh god, now I feel terrible.
You're on a list right now, buddy.
Not to mention,
I'm already
Sam,
on a list.
not to mention that right after he fills it up, he goes downstairs with like the lid off and everything, and is like talking to his brother and family.
And he like starts eating it.
Yeah, no, and not only does he take a bite, but just like the pair, like they start to get suspicious, like when he leaves, and then his dad takes a bite.
Yeah, so
think about all that happens, Sam.
Yeah.
Sam, you're okay.
Oh my god.
Am I banned from the podcast?
Oh no.
Now?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, so like Nate said, he goes downstairs to his family, and it's like, this stuff is pretty good. And he like says like, okay, we're gonna have more for dinner. Like, I'm gonna go upstairs and eat it. And the family says like, I didn't have to sleep after eating the stuff, so he just puts it down, bolts out of the house, and that's where Mo conveniently pops in with his car and says, "Get in," and he drives off.
Which he just jumps in.
Yeah, and stranger just says like, "Get in." Like, oh yeah, there's this intense close up to just Jason. That's it. Like, who are you? And the way they just zoom into him is the weirdest shit ever.
Funny. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, it's great. And then Jason just pukes in the car after they run off from his family.
Excuse me, sir. I kind of just threw up in your car.
I know.
I'm sorry. I mean,
That's all
I just
right.
ate shaving cream.
Well, everybody has to eat shaving cream once in a while.
I that's like one scene where like, okay, Mo, you made me laugh. Like, laugh.
Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed it.
Nicole and Jason so they get on the plane with Nicole, which the way that Jason responds to getting on a plane is quite stellar, if you ask me.
Wow, I haven't been on a plane like this before.
Yeah, he just like does a weird thing. Jason's not. Part of me like says like maybe I shouldn't be like pounding on his kid, but that's probably 30 or 40 now, but he's not listening, so who gives a fuck?
I mean, I don't know. Here's the thing. It's a kid. They just needed a kid. And I'm pretty sure they weren't like going through the records of like child stars to like.
Yeah, but I feel like they could like made him emote a little bit more though, at least.
I don't know, maybe, but like,
anyways,
I think it's just some fucking kid.
They go on a plane with Nicole, and when they get off, they left Jason on the plane, which was not a good idea. So while Jason's in the plane, the pilot gets attacked by the stuff, and Jason runs off while it oozes towards him. Yeah, that was. I think the postman was there too. In that scene, they show him for like 1 second when that happens, when the pilot gets attacked by the stuff. So Jason runs in the forest where he finds the mines, which leads him to the factory, to the stuff, and hides into an empty truck where they close him in and he's trapped. Nicole and Mo are at the factory. Mo is being a little bit of a, jokester, where like one guy tells him like, "Hey, stop taking photos, buddies," and he just takes a photo of the guy who tells him to stop taking photos. Great stuff.
What a jokester.
Great stuff.
Yeah, great stuff. The title of the movie. That's a sequel to the movie. Great stuff. We're the stuff, but great.
The stuff, Mo Stuff.
Yeah, see, if they made a sequel to the stuff, they could just call it Mo Stuff.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so Nicole and Mo just go back to a motel that's offered by the factory and sleep. Yeah, so what happens during this motel scene is that there was probably supposed to be a romance scene in here too. We're not sure. Anyways, they see an ad for the stuff. Pretty good ad. While sleeping, Mo gets attacked by his stuff. I think it comes from his mattress, I believe.
Yeah, it does.
And they discover
Really,
how
a pillow or something.
Yeah, and they discover how to destroy it with fire, which Nicole just throws fire on Mo's face, which probably not. Okay, well, it's probably this or nothing, I'm assuming. So, good thing it worked. It gets off. It
burned. Yeah.
And another man comes in there and
That's
screams,
right.
"Leave us alone!" And then he gets absorbed by the stuff, and they just throw fire at it.
That's
And
right.
then they run away. They just
That
burn
guy-
the entire establishment down, and they just.
Which is so weird because that guy comes out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like,
remember that. He came out of the
he
bath.
comes out of. It's like, how did he get in there, or how long has he been in there?
What I like to think is that he's just been sitting in the shower the whole time.
And they just didn't use it.
Yeah, they just never.
It's a motel bathroom. I would probably use it as rarely as possible, if you ask me.
That's true.
I wouldn't shower in a motel.
Yeah.
When they burn it down, I didn't even think about this really all that much, but the whole motel just kind of starts on fire, and they just kind of walk away from it, and nothing. That's another thing that's just not brought up ever.
Yeah.
We just
burned.
Fucking.
There could have
entire...
been a shit ton of other people like in there, and they're like the whole building catches on fire, and they're like, all right, and then they go back, or wait, do they? No, wait, they don't
go back to the
right
hotel.
away.
Now,
Not to the moat. No, I wasn't. I was talking about the factory.
Yes, they go back to the factory. Now, before we go to the factory, I have a little fun fact for you that I'm going to bring up.
Okay.
A fun factory.
Fun fact.
Whoa.
I was planning to do this earlier. I couldn't find the right setting for it. So apparently that same room, where they get the same hotel room, right?
Yep.
Is the same bedroom that Johnny Depp's character, Glenn, was in A Nightmare on Elm Street. That's a little fun fact.
Ooh,
That's the same bedroom in A Nightmare on Elm Street, the 1984 horror movie with Freddy
So
Krueger.
weird.
So that's
It's a little wild.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
That's a fun fact.
That's
all right.
Really strange. Now I gotta watch that movie.
Yes. So so they go back to the factory, and they see all these trucks coming out, and they follow the trucks. Now, Jason is in these trucks, I believe, one of them, and the stuff is about to get pumped into them at some point. So they don't know this yet. So Nicole and Mo follow it with the pickup truck they hotwired. And they arrive at a mine that has a quarry that has a lake full of stuff in it, which that doesn't look fun to be in, if I'm honest.
No.
It doesn't look. I don't care if you've been possessed by it. It does not look satisfying to work there at all.
Yeah.
So what happens is Mo disguises himself as one of the workers in an attempt to steal the truck, and also he plants C4 or some other type of explosive around the mountains surrounding the lake. Now, I don't know how powerful C4 is, but I'm not sure if it's this powerful. We'll get to it when we get there.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, the stuff gets pumped into the truck where Jason's in. Mo overhears it, and he punches two workers that are by the truck. He steals it and blows up the lake and just drives off.
Yep. Not to mention, is this while they're driving is when Jason has this big the shitty green screen moment where he's
yes, and he's
shouting at the stuff.
Yeah, he's shouting.
Yeah.
Yeah, come get me. You're inside my head. And I don't think they're in your head yet, dude. He just scream. I don't know. I don't think the stuff is intimidated by words.
No, I don't think it is either. But he just screams at it, and God, the green screen is just awful.
Oh yeah,
we probably did.
So noticeable.
We probably could have done better green screening that.
I won't stoop for that, but it's not good. I will say it's not. We could see the outlines. That's how bad it is.
I'm proud of my green screen work. I could have done better.
I would say maybe Well, if you think about this, maybe like for something that's on VHS tapes or like was gonna be, they probably wouldn't think that the effects would come out as bad as they did. When it comes
They probably did. When it was on a lower quality thing like that, it was probably fine. But now that we're watching it on like a quality that didn't exist back then, it probably looks shitty.
Yeah, like
I guess
this reminds me of like an H-bomb vid where he talked about how like horror movies on VHS tapes actually looked like a lot more. They were a lot more effective than horror movies on Blu-ray and HD remasters because you couldn't tell what was going on half the time, which made shit more scary. What film on it? I think it works better with Alien since it was a lot darker on those tapes.
Yeah.
And so it worked with Texas Chainsaw Massacre since like a lot of the scenes, since it's dark as well, you couldn't tell exactly what was going on. So your imagination just left you to like worse things, pretty much.
I see.
So yeah, that's an interesting thing to think about. So maybe we shouldn't be knocking on the effects, but since this is a film, we don't care. Films don't have feelings. So Nicole gets attacked by the postman we saw earlier in the film. Nicole pushes him away, and a truck just conveniently like kills him. And the way
it like takes out his legs.
Yeah,
and then like
he just pops like a balloon. It's great. Mo gets pulled. So Mo pulls Jason out of the truck, and the stuff almost like kills it. Not kills, almost grabs Jason back in. Mo, Jason, and Nicole pop in the truck, drive off into the moonlight. I don't know why I said it like that, but I did. And then the cop pulls
All right.
And Jason gets excited about this because like, oh shit, a cop, they can help us. And like Mo's like, no, the stuff has taken over all of them. They're all stuffies. He calls them stuffies, and I fucking love that so much. So the cop tells him to stand outside the vehicle, hands against it. And Jason and Nicole tricks the cops by fake eating the stuff that's sprung out of the hose. Which, before this happens, I think Mo makes a joke about, oh, you're going to get me for indecent exposure? Ha. That's a...
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's right. Mo's bringing all the comedy to this film. With him. So, yeah, when that happens, Mo goes behind the cop and just, like, fucking punches him or pistol whips him. I don't really remember how it goes. And they steal the truck again. Well, they just drive off again. And they go through a small town, and Mo just says, we're not going to use a small town because they're probably full of stuffies. So they go to the Colonel.
Oh, God. Right.
So they stop at a castle-like thing, or a fort. They stop at
a fort. They call
Mo
it a fort.
steps out. A bunch of soldiers pop, or militia. A bunch of his colonel's militia pops out. And then they bring him in. And here's where we meet Colonel Spears, who is loosely based off the conspiracy theorist William Cooper, I believe, which is the guy who written Behold the Pale Horse. He used to work for he used to be part of the military, and then he kind of went nuts after seeing something. And then he made a book. He also had a radio show that's kind of like Colonel Spears' radio show. Well, hypothetical radio show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could argue that Colonel's Milton William Cooper is the only conspiracy theorist, like major one, that's not a flat out anti-Semite. Which is a badge, I would say. Like that's like a gold star in that category.
Good job for not being an anti-Semite.
Yes, good job. Like he did have some weird things, but you could find like, okay, well, there's reasons. They're not good, but I could see how he went to that conclusion. They're not like awful, but they're like, huh. Anyways, well, that's enough about Milton William Cooper. But if you need someone else to point Colonel Spears about, he's technically Alex Jones, pretty much.
He's pretty much just kind of like Alex Jones.
Yeah, like if you don't know who Milton William Cooper is, he's just think of like him as like a less crazy Alex Jones. That's pretty much what he is.
No.
Colonel Spears is just Alex Jones. Mo talks to Colonel about how he used to tap him before getting kicked off the FBI, which the Colonel's like, okay, I could just fucking push you off this building, dude.
Yeah, and then for some reason he doesn't. I don't really remember.
Yeah, well, because he convinces the Colonel to work with him to feed the stuff while comparing it to like, he said, like, this is much worse than those commies you were talking about when they were putting fluoride in the water. That's what he's talking about.
Uh-huh.
So
I remember that.
So the Colonel, like, agrees to work with him. And then the Colonel meets with Nicole and gets very, very flirty with her to the point where it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
So this is the young lady who's gonna go with us. Well, she's familiar with the plant. She's been inside. She can guide us. You can ride up with me.
Oh, well, that's going to really be an honor, Colonel.
Well, I know. That's why I asked you. And after this mission, you can reward me in a suitable fashion.
Oh, Colonel, I think you're moving in on my lady.
Well, I wouldn't worry about that, son. You'll probably be a casualty.
Yep.
Don't worry.
God, I remember this.
Yeah, you will be a casualty. Like just saying, like, no, don't worry, you'll be dead. I get her. It's a weird scene, but the guy's a nut job, so I'm just gonna go like, okay, he's supposed to be crazy, so.
I'm assuming they're not really putting that kind of behavior in a good light, but
Yeah, you're kind of saying like, this dude's already weird. It's a weird scene though.
It's even weirder, especially if you're female, because you feel directly attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. I kind of had to watch a little bit after he and like it.
Don't worry, he says another thing that's pretty fucking crazy that's coming up. No, Jason, Nicole, and his army goes to the factory where they take it over. They shoot the guy at the gate, I think. Like pretty intensely, where like a bunch of guys with machine guns that shoots like 3 people, I think. They go inside the factory. They find out all these dead bodies on the floor, hollowed out. Where Nicole and Jason finds the stuff like oozing out in a room and attacks them, I believe. As it begins to attack them, and then it bursts out the walls, which leads Colonel Spears to tell him like, okay, we need to go to Atlanta to talk about the stuff. Which, because he owns 2 stations down there, so they all go on playing. Where the Colonel says weird shit like, how can you make my image better, or some shit like that. It's very weird. I do like this line where it's like, if you convince a bunch of people to buy a bunch of white shit, why can't you make me look good? I kind of like that little line right there. Like, he does have a point.
Yeah.
So they go to Atlanta. They land there. They all get off the plane. They go to the cab, which he tells a random cab driver, the Colonel, "No, they get to Georgia. No more of your liberal remarks."
Yeah, no. He says the cab driver, he's like, "Hey, what is this, World War III? Because there's a plane and a bunch of guys with guns come out." And then he's like, "No more of your liberal remarks. We need you to give me the law." And it's just like, what the hell is that?
And then they all get out of the cab and from the station. This whole militia full of teens with guns just comes out of a bunch of cabs, and like all the townspeople just got scared.
Like,
just imagine like going like walking down the street and you see a bunch of cabs pull up and see like a bunch of people with guns come out.
Well, it's not just that. Like there was a if you looked, I don't know if you've noticed this, but like on their way to driving there, their fucking muzzles were hanging out of the fucking.
I think they were shooting out of the car too, like in the air as well. It was fucking
were they?
crazy.
I didn't notice that.
I don't remember, but it was like
Christ.
There can't be any context where like someone goes like, "Oh, these people are the heroes."
Yeah, except for this movie.
Yeah. So at least the Colonel is somewhat nice, where he tells his army to tip all the cab drivers at least 10%. So that's
right.
That's
okay.
Issue
a 10% tip is the way he said it.
Yeah, issue a 10% tip. What a cool. He has one redeeming feature. Besides being the guy that saves the world, but
that's right. He technically does.
Yeah, this is the film where Alex Jones saves the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's.
In fact, can we just call it that? Alex Jones saves the world.
That's what the movie is called from now on. Alex Jones saves the world.
The world I don't want to live in.
It's like, you know, like that Onion article where like a guy you fucking really hate makes a good point. That's this movie.
What?
Charlie arrives at the station. Colonel is not happy about this.
Oh God, yeah.
Nicole convinces like, okay, this guy's actually pretty hot shit. Like he's actually like he's chocolate chip Charlie. Like everyone knows him for his ice cream, I believe. And the Colonel's like, okay, fine, I'm fine with this, but I will not let this. Okay, let me say this.
I will permit this colored man to speak, but speak one word of the commie party line, or one word in code, and I will blow his head off.
So the first time we saw this film, everyone was talking over it because there's like a lot of bullshit in this movie. And I think I was like the only one that heard, and I'm like, wait, did anyone else hear that?
I heard it. I was just really.
It was just like, whoa. Did anyone? Whoa. It just pops out of nowhere.
It does. Comes in out of nowhere.
It's just like fucking. Oh, jeez. It's like. I don't know. It's just a weird scene. It's not like. Jesus. Yeah, so that's Colonel Spears, if you want to know his, yeah.
So if you want to think, Colonel Spears, what a great guy, you know.
He's a person.
He's a piece of work, that man.
Now let me talk about Charlie for a little bit. The guy who played Charlie, Garrett Morris. So Garrett Morris was asked about what was it like working with Larry Cohen, the director of this movie. Well, he first said the production of this film was crazy, and then he also followed up with like, "Oh yeah, Larry Cohen is quite a character." And when asked Morris what he was like, Morris just said that I was taught growing up that if you don't have something nice to say about someone, you don't say anything at all, and just didn't say anything about him after that.
Yikes!
Which means I wonder what the fuck happened during this movie. I know Larry Cohen didn't pay the special effects guys the right amount of money after he found out how the effects turned out. Like he just gave them half of what they were supposed to get apparently, which is interesting.
Well, like, yeah,
like if these are not good effects, but pay your guys properly.
Yeah, pay your people.
Yeah. Anyways, so Nicole and Charlie go to a different part of the studio to rehearse, I believe, like to go through what they're gonna talk about. And then during the scene, Charlie grabs onto Nicole's arm and is revealed to be possessed by the stuff, and then just a bunch of stuff busts out of his body. And this is actually kind of I like seeing how it comes out. I think it was pretty neat. It does remind me of The Thing a little bit. This is like, there's a lot of things about this movie that reminds me of The Thing.
I bet you like watching that guy vomit.
Was he vomiting? Like it starts with him vomiting, but then just busts out of his head.
Like his head, his
head busts out.
Jaw opens up like real wide.
Yeah, that's the part I like when his head just busted open.
I'm glad you didn't like watching him barf.
I'm not really a barf guy, to be honest with you. When I watch, there's a lot of Tim and Eric skits that involve puking in it, and those are not my bag. They're not fun to watch.
If I have to clean up vomit, I will vomit. It's that simple.
All right.
Yeah, I had to clean up her cat's puke once because, I'm a good boyfriend.
You are a good boyfriend, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you. All right, anyway.
Yeah, anyways, Mo breaks, Charlie is the stuff. Mo breaks the glass open in the room they are. Shoots the wire open, which I don't think how that fucking works, but we could pretend it does. And electrocutes the stuff, setting on fire. And he saves Jason and her. I kind of forget to mention, Jason kind of just randomly walks into the room for some fucking reason.
Yeah, he just walks in.
And his reaction is kind of looks around while he's transforming into this thing. It's like, oh!
I could have not seen this coming.
Anyways, right after this, the Colonel just starts his speech about saying how the stuff is evil and needs to be destroyed. Then follows with a scene of the stuff being destroyed and being announced it's banned. I think the government bans it.
Yep.
Nicole gives a PSA on TV after this, and she apologizes for selling a lie. Oh yeah, and also the stuff killed thousands of people, which is not so cool.
Yeah, I remember that. They said, yeah, there are at least a few hundred people that died.
Yeah, a few thousand.
Yeah.
Then after a scene, Mo visits the stuff company. He visits Mr. Fletcher and tells Mo that destruction of the mine has not hurt his business, since the stuff seeps from many places in the ground. And then Mr. Evans, which is the guy who was on the boat earlier in the film, I believe, who hired Mo, said the stuff they teamed up and they have come up with a new product called The Taste, which that's still a shitty name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is a mix of 88% ice cream and 12% of the stuff. Like, supposedly enough to make people crave for it, but not taking over their minds. Yeah, it's only 12%. And,
yeah, you said 80... Oh, wait, no, you said 88 and...
Yeah.
Well, fuck, I'm stupid. I thought you said...
Okay, anyways. However, Mo brings in Jason, who is carrying a box that's just full of the stuff, and he points two of them at gunpoint and forces them to eat all of it. Like, all of it. And he's like, and then Mo says, like, are you eating it? Or is it eating you? And then, like,
and that's how the movie ends.
Yeah, and also they kind of briefly mentioned that Mo's parents died, I believe. Not Mo's parents, Jason's parents died.
Yeah.
Which, it's a shame. Oh, yeah, and that's why Mo says he's a man, not a boy, because you have to be a man. The only way to become a man is if your parents die, I'm assuming. Then,
yeah.
I guess.
Fun fact.
Yeah. Anyway, so that happens. The police approaches, I guess, to arrest him. I think not Mo. I'm assuming, but the two guys.
The two executives.
Yeah, and the film ends with a reveal of a black market for the stuff.
That's right.
And we cut to credits.
I love that scene.
Yeah, I love the black market for the stuff. Like, that's
really
great. Funny. I just like to imagine like a black market for it. Like that's actually kind of fun.
It's like having a black market for like Coke.
Wasn't there like a black market for like soda in New York when they started banning 2 liters, I think?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, and I think there was actually something for KFC too when Colorado like briefly banned KFC, which was interesting.
Colorado banned KFC.
Yeah, and the joke was like, why are they banning this while legalizing marijuana? This is like a weird combo here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the film ends with a post-credit scene, which I didn't remember. I didn't know there was a post-credit scene until researching this movie. And it's just a woman in the back room just eating the stuff. That's it. And saying, like, it's good. Can't have enough. And that is the stuff, ladies and gentlemen.
That was stuff.
What would you rate this film, Nate? Out of 10.
What would I rate this film out of 10? I don't know what... I don't know what to rate it because it's bad, but it's really entertaining.
Yeah. I don't know what... Yeah,
we watched it like 3 times.
We watched it 3 times. Like, here's the thing. Not Nate. Well, you are watching one of them, at least, with us. But Sam, Laura, and I have been watching the Tomb of Terrors thing. And I will have to watch these films multiple times just to take notes on them. This is, like, the only film where I had to rewatch so far, besides Disc Jockeys, where I'm like, this is fun to take notes on.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I'll probably watch it again more than most of the other films we'll be talking about on this podcast from Tomb of Terrors. Which the stuff is not part of Tomb of Terrors, but
no,
for reference, this film is, I think I will rate this roughly a 6.5 or a 7. I'm not gonna lie, it's enjoyable, not good, not bad. I would rather have a thing to like something that's fun to watch and something that's competent and not fun to watch, like Man of Steel or something like that.
Man of
Steel is just
Man of Steel, more like Man of
Veal.
Yeah,
it rhymes. But I don't know. This stuff is good. I would say it's not like a perfect film by any means, but it's fun to watch.
No.
Yeah, but what's your rating of it, Nate? I kind of gave you mine.
I would say it's in a similar that 6 and 7 area.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It's like if you just want to like watch a movie, but like it's really a movie that like the first time we watched it, we did not really pay, like, we were talking and all that shit. It's not really a movie you need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Like, there's some Yeah, it's just a movie to watch for fun.
It's just entertaining.
Yeah.
You don't really need to like pay attention.
If you're in the mood for a bad movie, like, you know, a good bad movie, but not The Tomb of Terrors, because that's god awful.
Oh, there's something coming up in that box set that I'm actually like, oh, this is really good.
Oh.
Sorry, go on. But
like, good bad movie, you know?
yeah, like, I don't even know if I would put it in the good bad section, to be honest, because it's a comedy. You know what I mean? Like,
That's true.
It's already supposed to be kind of silly.
Yeah.
And it does work, majority. It does take those humorous beats most of the time. Like, when it fails, it's just kind of like an awkward chuckle. You know?
Yeah,
like
that's true.
Because it just was done oddly.
I don't know. I would still put it under that category, to be honest, because it's definitely not a good movie, and it's not one of those movies that was intentionally supposed to be bad, which is like even worse.
Yeah, like it's definitely better than those Asylum films. I'll give it that.
Yeah. So like I definitely actually, like, I hate to be that guy, but I think I agree with Nate, where I'd give it a
6.5 or a 7.
Like a 6.5 or a 7, because it's an enjoyable movie. I genuinely enjoyed watching this movie. But you know, of course, no Citizen Kane or anything, but like, God, it's just hilarious, and like, I love it so much.
Yeah. Laura, what's your rating for this?
No, I'm not gonna rate it.
Oh. Laurel is going to be the unrated of this group.
Because I feel like there's just a lot of different things behind this movie that need different scales. So all over, I have no idea.
All right. Well, that's our stuff episode. The next episode, we will be talking with Nate for maybe a quarter to a half of it. We're not sure how long it is yet. About disc jockeys, which is gonna be fun because disc jockeys.
I'm excited.
Is a
Disc
good
jockeys,
movie.
it's
Well,
great.
It's not a good movie, but it's fun.
What do you mean it's not a good movie? What are you talking
we'll
about?
We'll get
Zach?
onto it. It has moments. We'll get there. Disc jockeys, Lifeblood, and this may or may not be part, because I might be splitting up the first disc in 2 bits, so this may or may not be it. And then The Traveler and Tear Up Extra U. All of the Tomb of Terrors box set, which we'll be reviewing all 12 discs.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, yeah, thanks for listening to Spill Cinema, and keep on spilling at the cinema. Spilling
all right.
At the cinema. Spill
all over the place at the cinema.
Oh fuck, now I have to clean that up. Shit. Well.
Ah, shit, now everything's all sticky. Ah, jeez.
When I was a little girl, I didn't think there was anything that I liked better than ice cream. Now I'm a big girl, and I've decided there's something I like better. Much better. It's called the stuff. And believe me, enough is never enough.